Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Redmen TV. It is the fan interactive show. It's a brand new show airing after each and every Liverpool game. And it looks like I drew the short straw today. I'm going to start off and tell you a little bit about what we want to do on the show today. So normally we would do the fan reaction show. We're very much still going to do the fan reaction show. We're going to go through your Twitter comments. We're going to go through the YouTube comments. And we're going to go through our Discord comments and talk about each and every single one of them. Then we're going to go over to the board and we're going to do a pseudo player ratings type thing where we've broken it down not by numbers but by how the players performed. We're going to do that. But before all of that, what I wanted to do was give you almost my match reaction from that game. And one of the things that, I'm massively disappointed and fuming at the performance from Liverpool there, and each and every one of Liverpool's players didn't perform towards the level that they should perform, apart from maybe Bajcetic in the middle of the park. But, for me, it's such a pathetic performance from Liverpool. Like, there's absolutely no heart and no desire shown to win the game in the first half. I mean, once again, we switch off early doors. And within 6 minutes or something, we've conceded a goal. Now, you've got to give Juan credit for the little dummy that he throws towards Joel Matip in that one, but Matip's got to do better. He's got to get over there. He's got to try and stop something from getting into the box. And he's unfortunate, of course, that it flicks off him and hits the back stick and then goes into the net. And, Steve questioned during the stream whether Trent Alexander-Arnold could have done better and maybe helped his mate out and cleared that. I don't know whether that's true or not, but he was thereabouts. Second goal is almost just as bad. A little ball from a free kick that comes in. Fella has it on the front, near the front post. And, no closing down by Robbo, no closing down by Keita. Ball's whipped in. Joe Gomez heads it. Does Alisson call? I don't know from here, of course. But you would assume not. Joe Gomez flicks the ball on. A couple of touches later and the ball's in the back of the net and the game's out of our reach at that point. Moving into the second half, we start well. We start much better than we had done. We have loads of shots compared to Wolves early doors, but nothing really where you think Wolves are in any danger. They've still got the 2-goal lead. They're still not really working the goalkeeper. Naby Keita's had 4 of those shots and only one of them even gets anywhere near the goal. And then we concede another one where the tracking back by Thiago is terrible. The positioning by Joel Matip is terrible. And Liverpool look defeated. Jurgen Klopp looks defeated. We look like a side that hasn't had investment in the middle of the park for far too long. We look like a side whose legs have completely gone. We look like a side who have been completely found out by every team we come up against. We should be miles better than Wolves, and Wolves looked miles better than Liverpool today, and that's massively disappointing. It's frustrating. Substitutions came too little, too late, and Jurgen looks downbeat and, like he doesn't know, like he can't see the wood for the trees either. I think, you look at it and you think, well, what the fucking hell is going on with Liverpool Football Club from the top, the ownership, all the way down to the first team now? We are in absolute disarray. We don't know what's going on, whether the club is up for sale or not. We don't know whether it's up for partial sale. That's what the word is. But why would you move Mike Gordon away from his operations role in Liverpool Football Club if the club is not up for sale? We badly need investment. We're not going to get it at any point between now and the end of the season. We needed it. We didn't get it. We've got Jurgen Klopp and we've got the lads on the pitch, and then the lads on the pitch are not performing anywhere near well enough right now. There is going to be questions asked of the owners. The value of their asset is dropping each and every single week. The away form has been fucking diabolical. 8 points from a possible 30 away from home. The home form has been diabolical by Liverpool standards. We are in a really, really bad place right now, and I think all of us Liverpool fans are feeling it. So I'm going to go into some of the comments, and I've got Craig Etherton, who says, "We're sick to death of making everyone we play against look like prime Barca." Robbo saying we let the fans down against Brighton, concentrate on your own game and do the basics right then. Pathetic, and I use that word myself. Annoyed Gamer says, "Players have no confidence, no leaders on the field, formation is broken, no backing from the owners. We need new blood on the pitch and new ideas and drive off of it. Forget Europe. This is relegation form. We are closer to the drop than the summit, and right now we are in a bad way. I think are we 10th in the league? I can have a little look at that now. because I probably should have done beforehand. So, yeah, I'll get the league table up. Right now, Arsenal, having just been beaten by Everton, who we've got up next, are on 50 points. We are on 29 points after 20 games, and the relegation are only, 11 points behind us, Everton Football Club, after their win today against top of the table. So yeah, we are closer. There is a bit of a gap after Crystal Palace. My words that I did not want to utter. But going up, we've got our eye on Newcastle, who are 10 points ahead of us. It's not happening. We're not getting top four this season unless something drastic happens. We need everyone back in. We need the likes of Diaz and Jota that we seem to be pinning our hopes on. They're not going to be fit. They're not going to be the same players as they were for a few weeks. They might be back on the side in 2 to 3 weeks. It's going to be 6 to 7 to 8 weeks before we see anything. We're not getting top four this season. We'll be lucky if we get Europe the way that we're playing at the moment. We're playing that badly. And everybody's got confidence against us right now. We are not looking at any side. No side is fearing Liverpool Football Club at the moment. The only side that's fearing Liverpool Football Club is Liverpool Football Club. We've done that bad. Right now, that each of the lads taken to the field are probably shitting themselves every single time they take to the field about how bad it's going to be, because they don't know what side's going to turn up. Well, I know what side's going to turn up. It's a side that's not going to play well enough. Cat LFCCXT says, don't see how anything changes anytime soon. I agree with that. And Daniel Gore, Optimus Prime, great name. What can you say other than things are fairly likely to get even worse before they get better? A shadow of a team, an absolute shambles at the moment. I'm going to go over to our Discord next then. Dean T7 just quite simply says, Everton are going to bash us on the weekend. These are Club Legend subscribers to Redmen Plus, by the way. Denver Red has absolutely ruined my weekend, and I'm not surprised at all. And CZ Red says, I feel hurt in ways I didn't think I could feel hurt. I've felt this hurt watching the Liverpool side before. I really have. And it's not a nice position to be in, and especially with just the one game a week. We've got Real Madrid coming up. Real Madrid, the champions of Europe, the side that even when we're at our absolute best, we still just can't seem to get over the line against. Like, you might dream that Liverpool are going to beat Real Madrid, but you can't, hand on heart, think that we're playing better than Real Madrid at the moment, because we're not. So yeah, Squiggly UK. Is it Squiggly UK? Page, for the first time, I am really worried for Klopp, and I think a lot of people could be worried for Jurgen at the moment, couldn't they? I don't think we need to be worried for Jurgen yet, and as I've said all day, and I will say to anybody that will listen, is Jurgen Klopp has credit in the bank. Jurgen Klopp needs to turn this around. He is the best fit for Liverpool Football Club as a manager. He's one of the best managers in world football. He needs to be given the backing, first and foremost, to fix multiple problems at once. He needs to not have to pick between a midfielder and an attacker, because clearly he's going to pick an attacker. That's what we've seen right now. We need to give Jurgen the tools to do the job properly. All of the tools, and that means all of the players that he desires, midfielders and attackers if he so wishes, defenders if he so wishes, not being cheap and picking one or the other. I said at the end of the watch along that, FSG's model, and I've been saying this for weeks, I don't think can keep Liverpool at the top. The sell to buy model can get you to the top, but I don't think it can keep you at the top. And I think Liverpool need a new model. We either need massive investments from FSG or investors into the football club who are going to give Liverpool the tools to be able to win the league consistently, because that is what each and every Liverpool fan ultimately wants. Tom G has said, becoming so hard to watch. Can this season be forgotten already? My, oh my. What are Real Madrid going to do to us? Absolutely agree with you there, mate. I just do. I am concerned. I'm going to switch it back over then to the Twitter comments for a little bit. Klopp has built this team to play in a particular system that relies on the midfield, says OD Zenix. Until that changes with reinforcements or a system change, which of these players have shown that they can't really adapt to, as well as changes at ownership level, it's going to get worse. And that's the thing for me, one of the big things moving into this game. Obviously, I did a deep dive show with Josh Williams about the makeup of Liverpool's squad yesterday, and how we sort of looked at 4 different variations of the 4-3-3, but Liverpool's squad right now doesn't look like it's a 4-3-3. Again, I go back to it. Mistakes have been made by Jurgen. I think he'll admit it. You know, today he plays Gakpo on the left. 2 games previously, he plays Gakpo through the centre. You know, Nunes comes on the left-hand side. Nunes is through the centre this time. You know, we're behind by 2-0. We make the changes tonight. We put Jordan Henderson into the middle of the park, and then all of a sudden, we're playing 4-4-2 again. I'm just breaking news as well. Klopp said Fabinho was ill, so he wasn't dropped. So, well, take your pick. I don't know what's worse for us. You know, he probably could have done with being dropped, to be quite frank with you. But he was ill, apparently, so there you go. I've got a super chat that's come in as well. Thank you so much to Wind Lord, who sent us 5 CHF. We look jaded since January 2022. Hope we do a lucky 2005 to get back in the Champions League. Please, no European Cup. Is Klopp's style too intensive for longevity? I don't know about that. I don't think it is too intensive for longevity. I think every side has a 4-year window pretty much. You know, you can go 1 up, 1 down on that. But every great side has a 4-year window when they're absolute peak, and then reinvestment is needed. If you believe that, and you believe I'm right there, we needed the investment. It's as simple as that. You can't ask the same guys to go for much longer unless they start much younger. You know, Arsenal right now, you've got to say, with an average age of about 24, their side can probably go 4 or 5 years maybe. But can it go more than that for the same manager with the same instructions? You do need investment and new players just for that. How many times can you ask someone to go to the well for you before the messages stop getting through? And maybe you'd agree that it could kind of look a little bit like that now at the moment. Now, unfortunately, I am going to carry on with some of these YouTube comments. So Gary Brooks, I say unfortunately, I don't mean that. I just misspoke then. Another abysmal performance. At what point do we really get worried Klopp might leave or get pushed? I don't think he's going to leave or get pushed, to be honest with you. Dearie me. OMK19 says R.I.P. Chloe's heart. Yeah, she will not be a happy chappy at the moment. Well, our Chloe, poor girl. And there we go. We've got another one from Brian Glow here. It's the same thing every week. 9 goals conceded, 1 goal scored in the league in 2023 is relegation form. Players need to sort themselves out. I hope the derby next week will be some motivation. If there's a crumb of comfort that we can take from the derby being next week, then it is that it's Monday and they can't ruin our weekend like they've just done again for us. You know, finding out that Manchester United have obviously just won another game of football. I think they clung on 2-1 against Crystal Palace. Seeing Everton go and beat the league leaders before this game and then seeing Wolves play it off the park. It's a hard place to be at the moment, isn't it? So we've got another chat here from Unichronic MK1. Klopp seems incapable of trying to get something different. Same formation, same mistakes, same problems. I agree with that completely. And we've done Gary Brooks as well. Sorry, apologies for that. Okay, let's see what Armour Coppack 93 says. Didn't get to watch, thankfully. Was only keeping tabs on Sky Sports. Don't get me started on Merson. But in all seriousness, top 4 is done. So going forward, Champions League is the only thing to look forward to. What do you think we can... I don't know where that comment is. What do you think we can try and get a result from Madrid? Maybe a question for another show. I'm not sure we're getting anything from Madrid at the moment. I think we need to sort ourselves out first and foremost before we start worrying about the Champions League. Because even if we did get through against Madrid, are we in a position to beat the next side up? I'm not sure. Rob Davies, someone who agrees with me. Oh, well, agree with that, Chris. No heart, no spirit. What happened to the mentality monsters? Oof. The mentality monsters have long since left the building. I think right now they look like mentality minnows. The summer transfer window with some new rich owners would be very nice about now, says Kat. Yeah, there you go. The summer transfer window with some new rich owners would be very nice about now. Ooh. Here we go. Here's one. Sporting Musty says, you lot laughed at those who cried out for investment in glaringly obvious holes that were appearing in the summer, pointing out that some people need something to mow them out and they should find something that makes them happy. I don't think they were my words, to be honest with you, because they don't sound like something that I would say. But I think every single one of us, and I will speak for myself and Paul and maybe Steve and everyone on Redmen TV, every single one of us agreed that we needed investments in the summer. Every single one of us wholeheartedly believed that we needed new midfielders. Every single one of us always also hunkered down and tried to support the team as best as we could. You might have been right. You are right, not might have been. We did need more investment in the summer, but we didn't get it, unfortunately. We're all Liverpool fans. We need to all pull in the same direction. And that's that. And listen, I never shy away from someone who's calling me out on these things, and I hope you appreciate that. But again, it wasn't me that said those words. Shane Borg played the youth squad players. Most of these players don't deserve to be in this league and should have been sold last summer. Oh, I tell you what, the youth squad player in Stefan Bajcetic is looking about the best player that we've got right now, isn't he? It's a scary thing when you can turn to the subs bench like today and see Jordan Henderson on there and James Milner on there and Harvey Elliott on there and not have any trust that any one of those lads is going to improve the squad, improve the team, I should say. It's tough, mate. It's really tough. Krugmeister, it's numb. It's been happening way too often this season. What a shambles. You're absolutely spot on. It's been diabolical. I mean, we had so many people watching that stream, fans of other football clubs, and, you know, I can totally understand why they've done that as well. You know, it's horrible to watch, isn't it? We've had a super chat in from Better Sleep. Thank you so much for the super chat, mate. The absolute goal on people calling for Klopp to go when the root of the problem is the ownership of the football club. Yeah, I mean, I back Klopp before, and I'd back Klopp to the hill before anything else. And then finally, we've got another super chat there. Klopp is finished. Why is he still smiling, said T? Because sometimes the people just, unfortunately, have to smile and make the best of a bad situation, and it's no reflection on what they feel during those days. They can feel absolutely terrible, and some people just laugh. I definitely do it. Like, do you know what I mean? I was getting called out for it on the show here before, but if I don't laugh, I'll cry, and that, you know, it's a painful situation to be in sometimes. If the worst happens and Klopp leaves, who's a realistic replacement? Because Linders isn't manager quality, says Patrick. I cannot. I'm sorry, mate. I can't even think what Liverpool Football Club looks like without Jurgen Klopp in charge. I really, really can't, mate. I just don't want to consider it. Mr. T over on our Twitter says, I feel very sorry for Klopp, consistently let down by the owners and players this season. The players genuinely lost, dare I say, a number of them are even finished at this level. Horrific. Things need changing, and investment is needed. Investment is needed. You're absolutely spot on there, mate. You really are. Red till I die, but these players might be the death of me, lol, says Rob Davies. If Klopp leaves, Lampard's available, says Unichronic. Yeah, fucking hell. I wouldn't want him anywhere near my football club, the big Tory wanker. So there we go. I'm going to go over to the board. We're going to do a new variation, I think, on player ratings. I've got my comments thing over there, so I'm going to take a little wander over to the board, and you can see that right now. Hopefully my mic is working okay. Hopefully that is the case. I've got all the players here in no particular order. In fact, I think if anything else, they're in the complete reverse order. We may need to consider how to hold all of these players and where to put all of these players. I'm going to go over to my computer here so you can see me. So, it is a tier list player ratings this time around. And I'm going to start with the goalkeeper, Alisson Becker. Now, we've got Bosch, obviously a very good performance. Sound is okay, and your messing is quite clearly shit. So, Bosch, I'm probably reserving that for 9s and 10s in my player rating style. I'm reserving 6 to 8, 6 to 7 as sound, and your messing as anything below a 6. So, Alisson Becker was sound enough today. I don't think it was an absolute stellar performance by Alisson. I still have question marks, as I mentioned before, over whether he should have called for Joe Gomez and made himself a little bit more vocal. I've completely lost my train of thought there. Made it so that Joe Gomez had to leave the ball. I'm going to go with Andrew Robertson next. Can I Can I go basically straight out the bat with my second player? Is it between Sound and your messing? I'm not sure if I can, because I think generally speaking he was okay. And then I do question, obviously for one of their goals, why he didn't get out to his man. But I don't think it was a completely shambolic performance from Andrew Robertson. Joe Gomez, I've got a question why he's heading that ball. So I think I'm throwing him into your messing. Joel Matip, poor defending from Joel today. But second half, he raised himself up a little touch. I didn't expect. Look now, closer to the line means it's thingy, and the worse you are, the further down you are. So there you go. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Not great again, is it, from Trent? Thiago, are you messing? Stefan Bajcetic is probably sound, maybe. Naby Keita, I mean, 4 shots don't really hurt anyone. Darwin Núñez, Salah, fucking hell. All right, it's not going to work, is it? Gakpo, Milner, he didn't do too much wrong. He didn't do too much wrong. Oh, God. He didn't do too much wrong, but they can probably all get closer to that friggin' line, to be honest with you. Chat's now open to all, so we will get into the chat a little bit more now. Bruce just says, who cares at this point? You're absolutely right. That's how you do a player ratings, says somebody. Gomez is done at top level, same with Keita and Milner. But what's this? People he's putting in Sound, only played 3 minutes, came on as subs. Well, they weren't terrible, were they? To be fair, I'm even getting dogs abuse for this. Oh my God. What's we got here? Klopp will walk away. Danny's Klopp's not walking away, mate. He will not walk away. He will not walk away. Mr. J Mango, I want to die, fuck my life. Right, I know that the likelihood for this is that is a joke comment, but seriously, if you are feeling down and you are feeling depressed, it is important for you to speak to somebody. So I just wanted to go out on record, and if you do want to, then you can reach out to me. If it's a completely serious, I want to die, then I'm here to talk to. If it's not, and you're joking, sounds totally understand. Like mentality's been muppets, a lot of them. Bajcetic was man of the match, says Michael Martinez. This has been tough. What a game! What a game! What a game! Two players, Bajcetic and Alisson in Sound. Everybody else pretty much in your messing. We've run out of space already in our tier list. We've had no one who's had a great performance on the day. Each and every one of them. Let's have a little talk about each and every player then. Okay, because I've got to talk about Thiago a little bit here, because I just think for an experienced player, one who's got so much natural ability on the ball, so many lax passes today from Thiago Alcantara. So often in that first half, where we needed to keep control of the football, Thiago gave the ball away. Trent Alexander-Arnold, couple of nice passes, one beautiful pass into Darwin Núñez that he couldn't finish. Aside from that, you know, not really that great. Gakpo had a real struggle on the left-hand side after the first 15 minutes. Found it difficult to get involved in the game, didn't he? Jordan Henderson came on. Naby Keita worked different areas of the field, tried to get into the half space, tried to get in between the forwards, tried to advance forwards and get on the ball and stuff, but really struggled again. You know, that final third at the moment, Liverpool are really struggling to break teams down. Núñez has the 2 best opportunities, I think, for Liverpool. One where is that ball from Trent Alexander-Arnold and he sort of volleys it in. And the other one where he cuts inside and he maybe makes probably the only save of the first half. Salah is just finding it so hard right now. He looks a shade of the player that he was. And Stefan Bajcetic is the one lad in the middle of the park there who looks like he's playing for the badge on the front of his shirt, which is mad, isn't it? Mad. Okay, question here from Arnaldo Perez. Apologies, sometimes these move a little bit fast. Why not Phillips? He is decent, can't be as bad as Joe Gomez. The problem, I think, with Nat Phillips, right, is that if you were to go to Nat Phillips, you can't play that game that you want to play with the high line. And I know that might be that might be absolutely fine at this point. You might just have to hunker down and accept that you're not going to do. But it's like then you have to change everything that you've ever done. And I think that's why. And I think also Nat Phillips has been really good every time he's played for us, and I've been mightily impressed with him. And I don't think he's as bad as some people say he is. But also, like, there is a ceiling to Nat Phillips. So I'm going to go back over. I'm going to get back into some of the comments and stuff now that we've opened it up. So I don't know whether you can follow me over here, Aaron. So we are over here. I'm going back into my little seat over in my corner. So there we go. We are flying right now. Where has Ben Doak disappeared to, says Mr. J Mango. Clearly he must be all right. That's good. I'm glad to know. I don't know what's going on, like, to be honest with you. And the app says the High Line is really ballsing us up right now. And then finally here we've got in the fight. Oh God, incredulity. Chris, why does Klopp still set the team up to play like it's still 2020? I've no idea whatsoever, because it is not working. It was an absolute horror show, wasn't it? The MD says Thomas Tuchel in, really? Jan Aj Fjordov says Klopp might walk. Scary thought. I wouldn't believe it. He won't know what's in Jurgen Klopp's heart. And we also know that Jurgen Klopp's missus wants him to be at Liverpool Football Club, so that's sound as well. The problem is our midfield. We need to replace Henderson for Jude Bellingham at least. Declan Rice is good, and N'Golo Kante is a good prospect. I think he might be past the good prospect stage, N'Golo Kante. Declan Rice is a good player. I called it the start of last season. And I got laughed at the time by everybody on our director of footy shows. Declan Rice, all this. I was like, now everyone's clamouring for Declan Rice. Ultimately, we've just been beaten 3-0 by Wolves, though, and that is a depressing, deflating scoreline against the side that aren't very good, but then they've beaten a side that aren't very good. Tough. I'm just going to have a little look. Just don't get the front three. Klopp doesn't seem to have a coherent plan. Press all over the place and no link-up places. Andrew Ellard. This I agree with. I just don't... I can't... And we spoke about this on the Thursday Night Pint, actually. Great show. Love that show. We didn't have any football to discuss, really. I just can't see that there is a plan right now. Steve said it, I think, best before. He's just throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. And right now, nothing is sticking. We are just in a world of pain. We need midfielders. We need strikers, who've played together and understand each other's game. We seem to be flip-flopping from Núñez central to Núñez left. We seem to have settled on a better midfield of Bajcetic, Keita and Thiago, but it's not a good midfield. Our defenders, our fullbacks don't help out the attackers anymore. The centre-halves' confidence is shattered. And we've still got no sign of Virgil van Dijk coming back. And obviously, Konate is going to be a few weeks as well. As I said at the top of the show, we seem to be pinning our hopes on Diaz and Jota, who've been out for fucking ages. So they're going to take time to come back in. We've got an aging Bobby Firmino, 31 years old, who's getting offered a new contract at the football club. Doesn't sound like something you'd particularly want, although I love Bobby Firmino, maybe my favourite Liverpool player under Jurgen Klopp. But, like, you've either got to rip the Band-Aid off at some point, haven't you? You know what I mean? And it looks like we're going to keep him round, and I'm okay with that, but... You know, is he our best striker? Is he our best number 9? I'm not sure. He might be, and that's a concern because we've just spent 80 million on a kid and 45 million on another kid. And I think 31-year-old Bobby Firmino might be the best thing. Let's see what this one says here then. Well, it flies up the screen. Darren Talk. Ali said he doesn't know what needs to happen. Klopp said it needs to change. I have no explanation. We are in crisis, Chris. Darren, we are in absolute crisis, mate. We are playing terribly. We are devoid of confidence. We are devoid of tactical ideas. We are devoid of good footballers at the moment. And teams are loving coming up against us. And Everton... The only constant this season is that Everton are shit. Have just beaten the league leaders. So, yeah. And the app says, is Thursday Night Pint going to be a weekly show? I loved it. It is going to be a weekly show, and I loved it too. So yeah, absolutely. Somebody's there saying just call the owners out. Finite XHD says call the owners out. I did at the start of the video, I think. Okay, let's see this one. Steve Murray says, Chris, man, can you clarify how FSG, a club that can get us to the top, but can't keep us there? Because we're not at the top now, so does that mean they're still the right owners? Nah, good point, Steve. Well presented. So what I meant by that comment is the sell to buy system that FSG have put in place relied heavily on getting players who weren't at the peak of their peak, everyone weren't on everyone's radar, and we were able to develop those players in a system that took us to the top. And one thing with the sell to buy is you need to sell players to buy them. It's the obvious thing to say, and that when you're at the top means you need to sell your best players to gain money, like we did Phil Coutinho, like we and we know that we got Alisson and Virgil van Dijk with that money and stuff like that. Liverpool stopped selling the players. Now, if you don't sell players in a sell to buy model, you're fucked. Getting 30 million for Sadio Mane is not good enough. We needed to sell him at 100 million to reinvest that into the squad. If you've got such a rigid model as FSG, right now we look like we need 250 million pounds worth of investment, which is where I would say FSG can't get us back to the top unless they're willing to put 200 to 250 million pound worth of investment in. Hope that clears it up. Here's one that I hope is true. Mackinnon, was Gakpo for next season? Yeah, I think he was. Manchester United were sniffing and we were interested, so we went and bought him. When Diaz is back, it'll look totally different. I really hope you're right, but I can't see that that's going to be the case because, as I say, Diaz is going to need time to get back up to speed, man. Bruce Charr. We came close to summit in Everest last year. Klopp, staff, execs have left the squad down by not giving them help. They've shown they don't match the players' ambitions. Can't blame the lads not 100% motivated. Well, the lads need to be 100% motivated, although I do get your point. I do, DC, taking the absolute biscuit here. Bring back Roy Hodgson and Brasco. Brasco says 200 million, more like double that. You might need him to. You might be right. And then someone who disagrees with the other person before. Diaz won't make the defence better. It's Champions League or bust. By the way, we need a centre-back in the summer. We might do, actually. Kanate's got his injury issues, hasn't he? Antonio's saying Jay Spearing in. Jay Spearing's a fucking great guy. A great guy, but he's not going to help Liverpool right now. So there you go. That has been the very first fan interactive show. We're going to do this after every single game. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Like the video. If not, the performance of the Reds today. Thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us and supporting us and being with us throughout the day. We've got the instant match reaction coming up now on Plus. That'll be Dan and Steve, and we've got a whole host of incredible shows upcoming where we will be looking at why Liverpool are so shit. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra.
Everyone, hope you enjoyed that show. I'm sure you did. If you want even more amazing Redmen content in your ears or in your eyes, come and join us over on redmenplus.com. We've got absolutely amazing interviews, features, documentaries, and even more of the shows like you've just watched. So yeah, head on over to redmenplus.com and become a Redmen Plus club captain or club legend. I promise you won't regret it.